I'm turning the rooftop deck area of my container house Mediterranean. I built this skillion roof over my container house to protect it from the elements, but I also used secondhand sheets and siliconed up the holes with clear silicone. So now it's time to cover all of that and give the underneath of my skillion roof and rooftop deck area a Mediterranean feel. I started last week by collecting dying trees from my homestead to turn into latte poles, saving lots of money because, I mean, look how expensive these can get. I also began the long process of installing screening, which is what I'm finishing now before I can install my latte poles to tie it all together. Let's get into it. So I've still got these pieces of rebar welded to the side of my container, and that's from when I was completing the roof and I was using the ladder to stabilize it on these pieces of rebar. So I need to cut these off before I can get the rest of my screening up. Also, you haven't noticed, the change of season is officially upon me. Summer is over. Boo. And autumn is here. It is rainy, it is cold, it is everything I dislike. So I've got like 9 months of rain and cold days ahead of me. Let's get my spirits up by finishing this screening, because that would make me feel so good. We're not going to talk about how the latte poles that I have drying over there are now completely soaked. We're not going to talk about that. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Let's get these pieces of rebar off. Got 6 more to cut off, but I'm going to do each set as I make my way along here doing the screening. I need to find a new disc. So for this end of the screening, I've just attached it to the front of my fascias there. But for this end, there's no fascia. So I'm just going to attach it to my beams up there and then have a section that drops down so that the section between the container and the skillion roof is covered and hidden, but still accessible. I'm attaching this screening to wire and not something more stable because my latte poles are getting attached underneath. So that's the structure, and we'll tie everything in. I've made the task more difficult for myself though by wanting to hide all the steel beams. This means in many sections I have to not only cut the screening to go around the post, but I also have to install the screening on the underneath of the wire so it goes over the beams and not under, which is a lot harder than placing the screening on top of the wire, which I can do in sections where there's no posts and beams. So once I've installed the latte poles underneath, it's going to make the screening secured, even and level. So let's see if I've got this method down packed and I can install the screening faster than last week. So I've just got my first one up. That was so much easier than doing the front ones. I don't know why. I guess just because I wasn't on the scaffolding, but it was like a lot easier. Look at it. Now, of course, this is the harder one too, because this is the one that I had to cut and put around the beams. So as you can see, that section's not done. What I'm going to do is where it overhangs, I'm going to run wire just like I've done here and attach all those sections to the wire. But wow, she's up and she's stable as. And that's great because the next one, I shouldn't have to put around beams at all. That should fit in that section there. So that should be even easier. This is looking good for today. And the sun is kind of trying to come out, so I'm gonna have to get. So I may have spoken too fast about the sun. It looks like it's hiding again, but that's all right. I'm gonna go along here now and cut off all the rest of the parts of rebar. And now I've got really high hopes for this screening and getting it done today. The only thing that's going to suck and be difficult, I hope the only thing, fingers crossed, is doing the side pieces because of the scaffolding. It takes forever to move. Oh my gosh, Summer, I miss you. God. Oh my gosh. Can you hear it? It's bloody bucketing down. Not bucketing, but most it has since start of summer. Oh. No! When it comes to the rain, no positivity, no happiness, just sucks. Yes, it hurt me. Thank you. The wind is horrendous today. 2 pieces up. Let's get onto this big middle section. Oh my, oh my, oh my, you ready? Almost done for the screening. And it's not complete, obviously. It's gonna look actually way better than this, but I'm stoked with how it's going. Now I just have that little third left to go, which, if I'm correct, let me have a look. They should line up with the other ones that are there, obviously. And if that is the case, that means I've just got one more difficult one with these beams. And then that one actually fits perfectly next to the posts and beams over this side, which means I can do a small part that comes over and covers the beams over here from the scaffolding. So that means I'll just have the sections on the scaffolding to go on the sides, and then this whole rooftop area will be done. However, that is not my complete roof, is it? So I'm still kind of working out exactly what I want to do, but I've left screening that comes down in that section here to kind of cover the gap, and I'm wondering if I put like latte poles along the bottom there, and then like not actually permanently attach the screening to it, just have like some kind of hook or something that attaches the screening to the latte poles to keep them nice and secure and hooked on there. But then if I need to get in under the roof, I can just like take off the hooks and get in through the screening. But then we've got to remember this is a skillion roof, and there is all that part underneath there and at the back and side back there, which is on my container. Oh my gosh, that's sun. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That feels lovely. I love the sun. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking very good. I have one more to install, but I just have to do this. I cannot resist because the clouds are clearing and I don't want to miss it. Oh. Lovely, lovely sun. It's what I'm trying to do this year. I'm trying to take more moments to actually enjoy, because my whole life revolves around this build and documenting it, and I've forgotten about everything else. Oh, puppy! So I need to take time to actually enjoy the little things in life, like this beautiful sun right now. I think the dogs are quite pleased about that. Reminder, this is my dog. This is not my dog. Yucky! Boof, bring it back! Boof! Oh my god! That went right in my mouth. I was enjoying my sun, guys. So yes, that's the goal this year. Obviously, complete the house would be lovely. But if I don't take some time to actually live as a human being, I may lose myself and I may become a robot. So just a moment to enjoy. Oh, this is gorgeous. I hope autumn is more like this and less like winter. Enough sun, even though I'm loving it so much. Let's get back up here. Let's get that last big sheet in.
While you find your footsteps and I breathe again, there's a new connection that's as old as when love was all that mattered and you were young and free. I'm all to you as you are all to me. Now's the time, now's the moment, yeah, now I see. Turn my head round and make you smile back at me. Now's the time, now's the moment, yeah, now I see. Tell you that there is nothing that's out of reach. We are the dreamers.
As my container home build hits overdrive, it's really important that my off-grid power system can support it. And that's where the EcoFlow Delta 3 Max Plus comes into play. I've shown you a sneak peek of this guy a couple of weeks ago to power my EcoFlow Wave 3 portable air conditioner. But now I want to show you how it helps me on my container home build. This is the newest member of the Delta 3 family, the Delta 3 Max Plus, which is a 2048 WH portable power station. The Delta 3 Max Plus has a class-leading 3000 watt output with a 6000 watt surge, which makes it powerful, stable, and built to handle my container home build because it can take on all my heavy-duty power tools. Not only can it handle my welder, grinder, electric chainsaw, but it's also powering me this week to get all my timber latte poles sanded and installed, keeping my grinder running non-stop and my batteries for my impact driver charged. But the EcoFlow Delta 3 Max Plus can actually become even more powerful and long-lasting because it's expandable up to 10 kWh by adding extra batteries, which is enough to power about 3 days of everyday use in a family home, which is pretty insane. And when it finally does run out of power, it's flexible and fast to charge with multiple different charging options like AC charging, solar charging, car charging, alternator charging, or a combination of methods such as an alternator plus solar charging. And if you're using AC charging, the Delta 3 Max Plus can go from 0 to 80% charged in as little as 47 minutes. And for me, solar charging, 0 to 80% in as little as 96 minutes. So I can pop it on charge as I use my impact driver, and then it'll be ready to charge my impact driver batteries when they're out of juice. Not only does the Delta 3 Max Plus have the new plug and play Anderson feature, but it's also got industry first smart output priority tech, which lets you choose which circuits stay powered throughout the EcoFlow app. So you can prioritize the devices that matter, and the Delta 3 Max Plus will automatically switch off non-critical loads like lights while keeping your fridge or medical devices powered. Safe, quiet, and provides you with seamless power with its under 10 milliseconds of uninterrupted power, which is the fastest in the class UPS, and under 25 decibels at 600 watt whisper quiet operation. So I can edit all of my content while still listening to the beautiful wildlife of my homestead, and even in the comfort of cool airflow when I add in the EcoFlow Wave 3. Grab your own EcoFlow Delta 3 Max Plus or Wave 3. There's a link below in my description. The Delta 3 Max Plus is now available with an early bird discount. Guess what? All the under roof that I can get to on the deck is completed. Final pieces done, except for the sides that I have to do on the scaffolding. I'm hoping right now I have enough time to do at least the sides, like in this general area. Well, I've still got sun. As you can see, it is going down, so I don't have too long. I'm going to try and move the scaffolding around now. I'll start with the hardest side, and because the scaffolding's right next to it, which is this side here, because there isn't any screening there yet, so I'm going to have to cut sections for that side. The other side actually has the screening there already because it's part of this screening, and I've just cut it to go around the post, so it's already actually there. One piece of wire in. I need to do another, but I also need to bring up the measuring tape to see how much I need. I wonder if I can measure with my arm right now. Alrighty. Oh my gosh. I've got my screening, got my little pieces of wire, got my big pieces of wire. Should be able to get this whole bit in now. Oh! No! I'm coming. Hello? Hello? Hey! That's how windy it is. I'm gonna have to like make you really little so you hopefully don't fall over. No! Well, good morning, team. I am currently in the shed getting the supplies that I need for today because I am moving on to sanding all those logs. I would like to find my moisture meter too, but I'm also just taking a moment because it's actually warm in the shed because there's like no windows or doors or anything. But out there, it is so freezing. Like, the wind is such a killer, and I am not transitioning well from hot to cold weather, as usual. I'm just going to have to face it. I'm just going to have to go out. Ooh. My dad's been keeping stuff in storage for me, and he was like, come look, and it's like 3 rooms filled. And he was like, well, now you've got the shed. You need to take it. My shed's completely full. Don't know what I'm going to do about that, but hey, that's another day's problem. You'll never believe it. Oh, first off, who remembers this caravan? I got this because I was waiting on building approval and I cannot sit still. And this was so cheap and registered, still is registered. I literally have about 13 vehicles now that I have to pay for registration. But yeah, I got it so that I could renovate it while I was waiting for my building approval because it took like 8-10 months or something. But then just as I got it to renovate it, I got the building approval. So now it's turned into storage. But also look what I found. Moisture meter. Now this is the part that I'm a bit worried about that should be very interesting. If these latte poles are not the correct moisture, I cannot install them. So, I mean, I can finish the screening because, you know, I've got a little bit of that to go just around the edges. But the main part of this is installing the latte poles. So I've got everything crossed that these latte poles had enough time last week when it was actually really, really hot. It's literally dropped 20 degrees during the daytime from last week. So I'm hoping during that time last week when they were sitting out in those heat waves, they had a lot of time to dry. They were also like pretty much all dead, most of them. So I'm hoping that they were already kind of drying, like they seemed really dry. So I guess we go find out now. Look who's come to play. Sun. Okay, I got the new moisture meter out. As you can see, I've set it to hardwood. And now what we're looking for here is we want above 10%, but below 20%. Somewhere between 12 to 18 is very ideal for external timber. Oh, I think that's perfect. I think. Perfect. Oh my gosh. Oh, just. Okay, this is great news. This is fantastic news. They are literally perfect. Usually wood, by the way, will not dry this fast. Like I had that other timber that I'd cut and everything in there for a long time. But as I was saying, when I cut these down, some of them already were dying. Like you could tell they were dying. They hadn't grown any leaves for a while. Yeah, so that means that's why they've dried so fast, basically. But this is very, very exciting news. So that means I can get these all sanded and varnished. Best part of the sanding process for this, I was not looking forward to it. And I mean, I'm still not looking forward to it. But I'm going to use my grinder with my resin fiber sanding disc, and hopefully it makes the process a lot faster. Okay, excitement, and the sun's coming out. It's gonna be a good day, folks. So first up, I do need to cut them to size because I have not done that yet. I will say this thing has given me way less problems than the steel chainsaw and is way easier to start. But however, it does have a pretty brutal cut. Like it rips through timber, rips instead of like slices, if you know what I mean. So let's cut off all the ends of these latte poles, pop them on the ground. I can sand them up on the deck and place them into the sling, ready to be transported by the pulley up to the top deck. Looky, looky. This is my first batch of latte poles. I do have 2 other batches as well that I need to collect that I have not debarked yet, that I'm hoping have still been drying in the sun. Oh my gosh, no, no. We can't have March flies and no summer. That's not fair. We are cut to size. Looking gorgeous. There are a couple there that haven't been debarked. This has very much been a 2 birds, 1 stone moment because I need to clear dead and dying trees on my property. And I didn't want to pay hundreds or thousands probably of dollars for latte poles. Job's on. Whew. All right, go away, March flies. Yeah, this definitely isn't sanded yet. All right, let's get another disc, see if that works, because this one's like destroyed. Let's see how we go with this new one. Hopefully that's all I need to do. Sander is not doing it for some reason. I'm gonna grab the sander and see how I go with that. Right, let's see if this works. I had to work standing up, but I cannot do it, so I'm moving to the floor. So there's still so much bark on these, even though I have debarked them, because like Jarrah just has layers and layers and layers of bark, and so there's still like a thin layer on. So I've just sharpened my debarker and I'm gonna go another round of debarking because it's just not working. And look how many discs. There is so many discs that I've gone through just trying to do that one. I may potentially have some bad news. I'm not sure if I'm wrong or my moisture meter is wrong, but I have heard that the ones that don't stick pins into the wood to test the moisture level aren't that accurate. And I have been trying to sand these all day now, and it's just not really working. And I've been trying to work out why, and I feel like it's because they're not dry enough yet, which my moisture meter says they are. I've got this feeling in my gut though that they're not dry enough. As you know, I've moved on to debarking them, so I'm thinking I may go get another moisture meter just to be sure. So I'm not too sure if the latte poles are going to go up this week, because they may actually need to dry for maybe a couple more weeks or something. I really don't know how long. So last time when I've checked all the posts and when I checked all the slabs and all that kind of stuff, I had a moisture meter that had pins, but it kept breaking, and they did have replaceable ones in there, but I ran out. So I thought I'd grab one that didn't have pins so that I didn't have that problem again, but I don't think they are that accurate. Let's just continue debarking, and I'm gonna have to wait and see until I get a new moisture meter if they're ready to put up. Yep. Hello. I'm trying not to blind you, but also trying to make it so you can see me. I'm still out here. It is almost midnight, but I am getting close. I am not stopping. You cannot stop me. I need to get these all debarked so that if my suspicions are correct and they are not dry, which I believe I am correct, then they can dry to the fullest with all this bark off, stripped bare. But wow, it is taking a long time. I just keep sharpening the debarker, going again, sharpening, going again, and it's taking so long per pole. I'm tired, I'm weary, my back's surprisingly okay. I'm glad that I changed to the ground. I am tired, I am hungry, and I can't wait to be through with these. We're going to have a change of plans tomorrow, and I will fill you in tomorrow when I've got a brain that's working, but these guys won't be going up. So we need a plan of attack. I will see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. I am so ridiculously tired this morning, and it is the dullest, gloomiest day. But I've been very productive. As you know, I spent all night to about midnight debarking the rest of my latte poles so that they were like properly debarked right down to the bare wood. And then after all that, and then like having to eat dinner, get to bed, I dragged myself up at 4 a.m. this morning to get a moisture meter. And I have got one with pins, just like I had before. Not the same one. I tried to get one a little bit better so that the pins don't break this time. And we're gonna go do that now. So we're going to head down now. We're gonna test it out. And then my plan of attack is, I haven't finished the screening yet, have I? Like, I've done the majority of it. But to be fair, the hardest part is still to come, which is around the outsides, because as you know, moving the scaffolding, it takes forever. I did have a little idea though. Remember what I did with the fascia boards around the back? I crawled under the skillion roof here in between the container and skillion roof and stored the fascias that way. So I'm wondering if I can install the fascias that way, like surely I can install this screening that way. After my hectic night and morning, I'm just taking a little moment on my future Mediterranean look rooftop deck to have a coffee. Let's go, let's get moving, let's get on it. Alrighty, new moisture meter, let's have a look. Okay, that's already a way better reading. That is saying 25%. So that is definitely still too wet. Let's try another one. Let's try these ones. Yep, that's way too high as well. Way too high. Way too high. They're all looking to be between like 25 to 35%, which is definitely too high. It looks like we're moving on to screening. Let's get it on these ones over here. Time to move the scaffolding again. Just as before, I'm going to use my arm as the measuring tape here. Okay, so this much, I believe. All right, let's get them up. This wind is insane. But, have you noticed? It's actually not moving my roof or my screening at all. Ugh. Let's go. So I've got those side pieces up, which took forever, by the way. I'm heading up underneath my roof, which is going to be quite tricky. I think I've got everything. I've popped up 2 screenings up there to cut while I'm up there. And let's hope this goes to plan. Get in here. The getting in part isn't too bad. Oh, harder with the screening. Move over. Oh no! I forgot the screening. Lucky I just remembered. I think I've definitely got everything now. Ugh. Ah! Okay. I'm up. I'm up, team. Oh, I forgot how fun being under this roof is. You know what I'm thinking? I reckon. Oh no. Yes, I bring it. I reckon I'm gonna need to, don't know how, but drill in some little screws to connect this to the end. Oh my gosh, it has just taken 45 minutes to try and get that corner piece in. I think for that corner piece, it literally would have been better to just put the scaffolding back a little bit, which is what I'm gonna have to do because I still don't even have like the very, very corner of it in. But now that I'm up here, let's work our way along the back. Need to run it. Now we need to untangle it. Oh my golly. All right. My golly. Far out. This is so horrible. Okay, we're gonna pop it around this one. Oh, it's freezing under here. Okay, what I need to do, which is going to be tricky, I need to grab these and I need to cut them differently So I'll show you with this one, but this one's not wide enough now. But basically I'm going to go like that and then have the other part drop down. So we'll leave that in case we need a small one, but otherwise we can use these big ones. But I've got to measure. Oh, you can't even bloody see me anymore, can you? Hello. I'm gonna... Okay. I've got to measure how much I need. And I need the cutters. Goes like up that to there. And down to here. With each little section that I cut, I have to like reattach the wire because I'm cutting it. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. Oh, you know what I might do? Now that I know how long this needs to be, and I'll test it, I might actually just cut this one, put it back on the scaffolding, and like maybe do it on the rooftop deck or on the scaffolding so that I'm not bent over like this, because I'm gonna need to cut quite a few of them and I don't want it to be bent over like this for too long. Now I have to get the energy to get out of here. All right, let's take this one I've cut. Let's get out of here. Let's cut 13 meters worth. Oh my God. Yep. Oh. I'm out. Okay. Let's get to bloody cutting. Because you can't tell because the sky is very grey, but it's very late. I need to cut at least 8 to this size, but then I think a tiny bit more as well. Nah, so 9.
Coffee cup before the day begins. Don't go, stay a while. We'll slow it all the way back down.
That took a little less time than I thought it was because they were actually perfectly like the size of 3 that I needed. So I didn't have to cut off like any excess or anything. It was just like 2 cuts on each sheet. I've got 9, so that should be enough to get across the entire back, and there will be a bit that I need to cut off as well, I believe. Let's get back up there.
Birds are talking outside, giving space for the words we hold inside to come out. So stay a while, we'll slow it all the way back down.
Okay, so I've just realized I'm going to benefit, I reckon, from attaching it down to the bottom here. And I'm thinking, how should I do that? Because I've been pretty careful the entire time not to put any like bolts or holes into the container. I've mainly welded everything because I didn't want anywhere that water can get in, just to keep this nice and secure so it's not blowing in the breeze all the time. My GoPro died on me. I don't know how much of that you caught. But basically, I'm going to do this final side now. However, it is getting extremely dark very quickly. It's a beautiful pink sunset over there, actually. So I will have to show you the finished result in the morning. And obviously, it's not completely finished because I still do need the latte poles, which is going to tie it all in together and give it that structure. But until then, I'm pretty stoked with myself. This screening has completely changed the look of this roof. This is exactly what I was trying to do, and hide all those metal steel beams and give it a beautiful Mediterranean look. And I could not be more happy. As always, thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next Sunday.